Hello guys, I'm Data and welcome to my channel. It's patch notes time, December 13th. So, what do we have? A lot of stuff. Most of the stuff is not really interesting. Like, okay, Platinum Collection, okay, they're just painting with the Platinum camos, old mechs that maybe you already have. That's not the interesting part. But we have a new mech, the Hatchetman, and weapon balance. So I'm sure that you already saw some videos that, hey, new patch note, this, and that. Okay. Here, though, I'm going to analyze what's going on with these changes. So first, the most interesting thing of all, weapon adjustments. Finally, I legit quit reviewing patch notes and almost quit the game because of how the Cauldron had been balancing the game for the last year. The Cauldron had turned the game into a NASCAR brawl facehug bumper cars fest. You just watch Championship Series 2022 to see how good players really play the game and really abuse the meta. Is just let's pick a bunch of bumper cars, hit each other with just a couple of mid-ranged mechs. That's dog shit. It literally rewards people for being shit. With this patch, we're starting to go in the right direction. A decent nerf to heavy machine guns. They're just broken. Yeah, that's true, they weren't buffed with the Cauldron, but the mechs who use them got a lot of compound buffs that brought this playstyle to be so oppressive and abusive that basically deleted every other playstyle, despite the fact that other weapons like MPLs, medium lasers, snubs, they got all buffed. But the combo red lasers plus heavy machine guns, despite heavy machine guns not being buffed except for the range a bit, they became so oppressive due to the compound buffs given to the mechs who use them, like Mistlinks, Incubus, Shadowcat, Viper, and so on, that they literally deleted every other playstyle. Now they're doing less raw DPS, less crit chance, and once they deal a crit, the crit multiplier is less. In the past, people try to address them by just reducing the crits. That doesn't work because it's just that the raw DPS, even against armor, is just too much. Hopefully now these nerfs paired with nerfs on the quirks, on the chassis that abuse them the most, are going to, bring the game into an acceptable state. Then, ER larges. Again, it's a fact. Like right now, everything due to map design, quirk, spam on fast chassis, everything that shoots past 600 meters, it's completely useless. The reason is that the maps are built in a way that you can easily get close to the enemy. So once you go past 600 meters, you are giving up hit efficiency, DPS, duration for what? For more range, but you don't need more range because the maps are built in a way that it's super easy to go at mid range being 600 meters, 500 meters. So as a whole, the long range category of weapons sucks. Kalanier Large became one of the worst weapons ever due to the fact that they got hit repeatedly over and over by a whole bunch of nerfs dictated more by bias than logic. With this patch, it will be this is a buff if you shoot lasers 2 per time, and nothing changes if you alpha strike them. So the base heat of the lasers is less. So if you cycle through them, they're better. But if you try to alpha strike them, eating the ghost heat, they will just ghost as much as they ghosted before the patch because the ghost heat is dictated not only by the ghost heat multiplier, but it's also dictated by the base heat. So once you reduce the base heat, if you don't adjust accordingly, the ghost heat multiplier, the ghost heat will result in a smaller value. And that's why the ghost heat multiplier was increased so that even after the patch, once you alpha strike, you receive the same amount of ghost hit that you were receiving before when the base hit was at 10. ATMs, they have a minimum range. Like before, below a certain threshold, it was 120 meters, now 60 meters. They do no damage. The point is that ATMs are good only at close range. So this all or nothing uh, behavior of the weapon was a bit too punitive. Unlike LRMs, ATMs, they do require skill to be played because you need to fight at short range. The arc is bad. It's not like LRMs. The indirect fire is bad, and they don't do anything past like 400 meters. They don't do shit. So they really needed this buff. Skill tree adjustments. This is a nonsense. Again, I'm strongly against buffing the behavior of sitting in a hole, staring at a wall, and firing LRMs indirect. It's the negation itself of PvP. You just stare at a wall, you don't even look at the enemy, you get an indirect lock staring at a stone, and you fire indirect LRMs. This bullshit is a big part of the cancer that ruins the game and invalidates a lot of slow chassis that don't have ECM. They just behave like LRM landing platforms. Ideally, LRMs would need to get nerfed to the point that they are just not viable in tier 1 because they are a legit aimbot. They don't make sense. They're just a dumb mechanic for dumb people who like to ruin the game for the sake of being dumb. The Cauldron keeps buffing indirectly LRMs by doing this, by nerfing greater deprivation. They've also directly buffed LRMs by giving them more missile health in the past so that they can resist more to AMS. AMS so has been indirectly nerfed into the ground by buffing missile health across the board. SRMs, MRMs, ATMs, they all have more missile health. So AMS basically has been nerfed into the ground to the point that nobody uses it because it's fucking useless. It doesn't do anything. And that's why, of course, nobody brings it. And and then also there has been too much spam on velocity quirks on missile boats. With more velocity, missiles travel faster, so they get on you faster, and they travel through AMS bubbles faster. So it's another nerf to AMS. This continue buffing of this playstyle that where people just stare at a wall, at a stone, and they farm people with this indirect fire over and over is the cancer that ruins the game, and it should never be encouraged like this. Instead, it keeps being encouraged over and over and over, and that's fucking bullshit. Mech quirks and adjustments. Viper, a well deserved nerf. Machine Gun Viper is OP. It needs to get nerfed. That's good. Crusader. Crusader is OP as well because of the shape and the amount of small lasers and energies in general that it can boat. It doesn't have offensive quirks, so it's not a problem of offensive course. You can't nerf all the weapons that it brings, like small lasers, medium lasers, large pulses, large lasers, because those weapons are not OP on other mechs. It's just this mech because of the shape, because of the mounts, because of the quirks, the defensive quirks in this case. So the defensive quirks getting toned down. Zeus added crit chance receiving. No. Okay, I can understand that the top speed makes sense on some weak ones. Crit chance receiving on all of them, whatever. It wasn't that needed. Uh, Consolidated some quirks here and there. A buff to the Sleipnir that wasn't needed, but whatever. That it doesn't change the game. It doesn't do anything. And then we have the Hatchetman. Is it good? Is it not good? I got the pack from PGI, as always, so I can review it. Mm, 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 mm. Let's go here. Some Hatchetman variants, they're just not interesting. I've highlighted the ones that, the way I see it, are the most interesting. The best one, of course, 7R, 7 medium lasers with mask. It's a jump harasser mech with mask that peek pokes in and out of cover. That's what it is. Like this. Then another interesting one is the 5S. Because of the LBX, spread cooldown, generic range, 7 small lasers, and an LB10. Then we have the hero one, the Tin Man, 1 LB10 and 4 SRM4s. You could build another one with MRMs, but there are a lot of MRM mechs. Then there is the ballistic one, the Ultra one, because the Ultra jump duration to Ultra 5, pretty high mounted. There is an MRM one. If you have it, you can build it with MRMs like this one. Is that I didn't do it because there are a lot of MRM mediums around. So if you bought the pack, you could build it this way. It has pretty good mounts like this. So it's a good mech. It's just that, yeah, if you have it, you build it this way, and then you put the engine, of course, as all the rest. Mm, that's pretty much it for the variants. Some other ones, I think they are underpowered, like this one ballistic 4 energies. What am I going to do? Ballistic range, ballistic velocity is just nah. This one, for example, it has cooldown, heat, it's better. This one has range, cooldown, again, it's better. This one doesn't make any sense. It's just because it has ECM. It makes sense that it has less quirks because ECM itself is the quirk. So if you are seeing it from a quick play perspective, ECM is a gigantic quirk. So this mech deserves less quirks because it has ECM. From a comp perspective, it's a bit different, but in quick play, you are guaranteed to farm more just because you have ECM. So how could you build this? You have a velocity, range, AC10, and meds, rack 5, whatever, snubs, couple of snubs, and a ballistic. You could try these combos. They Gauss and meds is, to be honestly, pretty weak. I wouldn't do Gauss and meds. Couple of snubs with a backup ballistic should work, and you should farm just because you have ECM. So overall, that's it. I think this is a good patch, a good new mech. Finally, the weapon balance starts going in the right direction. Hopefully, the game stops turning into a NASCAR face hug fest where the faster you are, the stronger. And if you are slow, you're just food for Mistlynxes, Piranhas, Vipers, Lights OP, and all that sort of bullshit. Seriously hope that the game starts being more balanced because the bullshit that we're playing right now is not balanced at all. Just go watch a championship series 2022 game. It's literally all bumper cars hitting each other with machine guns. That's pretty much it. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Stay tuned for more content in the future. Catch you guys next time.